Hi everybody, this is part 2 of my reading progress video. Yesterday I did a book haul from book shopping and reading updates from books that I was returning to the library. Today's video is top priority reads from today's library haul, because today I picked up about 11 or 12 more books from the library, but I'm only starting by reading 7 of them. So the first book I'm going to talk about today is a reread, A Deadly Education, the first book in the Scalamat series by Naomi Novick. So this book is a reread, and it is getting in the 5-star rating is staying the same. In my reread, I am currently on page 83, chapter 5. The rest of these books are current reads that are not rereads. The first book that I'm reading is called Witches of East End by Melissa de la Cruz. I read a Snow White retelling by this author called Snow and Poison back in August, and I really liked her writing style. So far in this book, I am on page 47. So not very far in quite yet. The next book I'm reading, I found on a reading list for books to read based on your favorite movies. And this book is paired up with Shrek because obviously the fairy tale creatures are evicted from Duloc to go to Shrek's swamp. So this book is called Arbitrarily, How Zoning Broke the American City and How to Fix It. Because basically, I think that the whole eviction thing with the fairy tale creatures being asked to leave Duloc is a zoning issue. Because technically they are legally allowed to be in Duloc. Lord Farquaad just kicks them out because he's a bully. So far, I am having a hard time getting into this book. I'm only on page 67. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue, though, because I don't find this topic to be very interesting, but we'll see. I might read a few more chapters and see what happens, but I'm predicting a DNF for this one. This next book I'm reading was on a list I found on Instagram about dark academia movies. This book is called The Talented Mr. Ripley by Patricia Highsmith, and it came out with a movie in the early 90s. I don't remember which year it came out, but the movie, see, as you can see, this is a picture from the movie, and the movie has Jude Law, Matt Damon, and Cate Blanchett. Oh no, that's Gwyneth Paltrow. I'm sorry. So this movie stars Matt Damon, Gwyneth Paltrow, Jude Law, and Cate Blanchett. In a chilling literary hall of mirrors, Patricia Highsmith introduces Tom Ripley like a latter-day Henry James hero. He is sent to Italy with the commission to coax Dickie Greenleaf back to his wealthy father. But Ripley finds himself very fond of the prodigal young American. He wants to be like him, exactly like him. Suave, agreeable, and utterly immoral, Ripley stops at nothing, certainly not only one murder, to accomplish his goal. So I just started this afternoon when I got home from the library, after I slept for a little bit because I was not feeling very well, but I'm better now. I'm on page 85. The next book I'm reading was recommended to me by Carrie over at Carrie Can Reads. She recommended this in one of her reading wrap-ups from last year. I do not remember which video it was in, but this is called The Daughter of the Forest by Juliet Marieller, and I will tell you what it's about. Juliet Marieller is a rare talent, a writer who can imbue her characters and story with such warmth, such heart, that no reader comes away from her work untouched. A beautiful retelling of the Celtic swans myth. Daughter of the Forest is a mixture of history, fantasy, myth, and magic, legend, and love. Lord Colum of Seven Waters is blessed with 6 sons: Liam, a natural leader, Diarmaid, with his passion for adventure, twins, Cormac and Connor, each with a different calling, rebellious, Finbar, grown old before his time by his gift of the sight, and young, compassionate Patrick. But it is with Sakra, the 7th child, and only daughter, too young to have known her mother, who is alone destined to defend her family and protect her land from the Britons, and the clan known as the Northwoods. For her father has been bewitched, and the brothers have been bound by a spell that only Sakra can lift. To reclaim the lives of her brothers, Sakra leaves the one safe place she has ever known and embarks on a journey filled with pain, loss, and terror. When she is kidnapped by enemy forces and taken to a foreign land, it seems that there will be no way for her to break the spell that condemns all that she loves. But magic knows no boundaries, and Sakra will have to choose between the life she has always known and a love that comes only once. So far in this book, I am on chapter 6, page 144. The next book is a book that I am reading from Manhattan to Stars Hollow TBR. It is called Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alderton. I have read 2 books by Dolly Alderton previously. Good Material, which I gave 3 stars to, and Ghosts, which I gave 3.75 stars to. So this book is hyped up by all of the people that I follow on BookTube, and I started to read this today and I realized the reason why this is so hyped up is because most of the people I follow on BookTube are in their 20s, and that is the audience this book is geared towards, because this book is a memoir in which Dolly Alderton gives advice about going through college and the first couple of years after you graduate. So, if I had found out about this book when I was in college, I probably would have benefited more from the advice from it. But I really like her writing style. It's very engaging. This is another memoir similar to Heartburn by Nora Ephron, which I gave 3.5 stars to. That is, that in which recipes are interdispersed in a narrative, and I do not know which recipe we're going to try yet from this book. We haven't made up our minds, but one recipe that's in here is for apple pie, I think. Apple pizza, which is interesting. I've never have heard of apple pizza. And another recipe that's in here is scrambled eggs, which is a recipe we have for breakfast every week. So that's pretty easy to make. So far in this book, I am on page 152, and I mean, as I was just saying, I'm really enjoying Dolly Alderton's writing style, but the advice she is providing is more geared towards people in their 20s. So I'm having a hard time connecting to this book, and it will possibly be another DNF. We will see. I'm going to try to read at least 2 or 3 more chapters to see what happens, and then if I DNF, that will be fine. I have several other books from the library that I can read, and it will not be the first book on the Friends and Gilmore Girls TBR that I have DNF'd. So the final book I'm going to talk about today is called The Wolf and the Woodsman. This is a fairy tale retelling by the same author of A Study in Drowning, A Theory of Dreaming, and Lady Macbeth. So I really love the worlds that Ava Reid creates within her stories. I will read you what this book is about. In her forest-veiled pagan village, Eviki is the only woman without power, making her an outcast, clearly abandoned by the gods. The villagers blame her corrupted bloodline. Her father was a Yahuli man, one of the much loathed servants of the fanatical king. When soldiers arrive from the Holy Order of Woodsman to claim a pagan girl for the king's blood sacrifice, Eveki is betrayed by her fellow villagers and surrendered. But when evil monsters attack, the Woodsmen and their captive en route, slaughtering everyone but Eveki and the cold, one-eyed captain. The two have no choice but to rely on each other, except the captain is no ordinary woodsman. He's a disgraced prince, Barney Gasper, whose father needs pagan magic to consolidate his power. Gasper feels his cruelly zealous brother plans to seize the throne and instigate a violent reign that would damn the pagans and Yahuli alike. As the son of a reviled foreign queen, Gasper understands what it's like to be an outcast, and he and Eviki make a tenuous pact to stop his brother. As their mission takes them from the bitter northern tundra to the smog-clogged capital, their mutual loathing slowly turns to affection, bound by a shared history of alienation and oppression. However, trust can easily turn to betrayal, and as Eviki reconnects with her estranged father and discovers her own hidden magic, she and Gasper need to decide whose side they're on and what they're willing to give up for a nation that never cared for them at all. This book is so good so far. I'm only on chapter 6, page 76, but I cannot wait to get more into it. I'm really liking the world building. So what's going to happen for the future of these reading progress videos is that just because of how my schedule is in the next couple of weeks, I think instead of having them be every 2 weeks, they're going to be posted every Saturday. Usually they would be posted every other Thursday. But due to how quickly I'm making my way through these books, I think it's only fair to not make you guys wait for reviews. So I'm predicting that the next video that I do will probably be out a week from today. I can never exactly predict when I'm going to be what time I'm going to be posting at. Times tend to vary depending on my schedule and what I'm doing on that particular day. So expect another video with reading progress updates between Thursday through Saturday of this week, and if I don't get it out by then, it will be out next Monday, October 27th, and the next episode of the From Manhattan to Stars Hollow podcast is being filmed at Double House next Friday, the 24th, and will be up on Kathleen's channel on the 30th. So, lots of bookish content coming your way. On November 1st, I will be doing my Where Do This Year's spooky season reads fall on my tier ranking, which will include all of the books that I have been reading for thriller, horror, dark academia, TBR from July, from when I was doing Summerween Readathon with Gabby Reads, to October. So those are upcoming videos that you can expect from me. And then for the rest of the month of November, I will have weekly reading update videos out. Matt and I will have our next entertainment blog wrap up for October and November out on November 16th. And the next episode, after the episode we're filming at Double House for the podcast with Kathleen, will be filmed here on November 7th, and that video will be out on November 14th. Thank you for tuning in. Have a lovely rest of your weekend. I will see you guys on anytime between Thursday and Monday the 27th. Thank you.